Hi, good evening. Welcome to Relax Time Radio.
Good evening, good evening. Hope you're all doing well. 22nd of December already. It's almost Christmas.
Oh my
right?
lord.
It's
Sorry.
Oh my lord.
you,
Yes,
those
indeed.
those voices you can hear. There's a lot of us in the studio today. You're here with me,
I know.
Paul,
Crowded.
Sugars, DJ Nuhm over there.
Yes, Lily as well.
Lili.
We've got our
Hi, with a
Lily's got a sore
cold,
throat, so if you
yeah,
don't hear her
so-
so much, she's just resting and
she's gonna
doing
talk.
the social
No,
media
she'll-
job.
She'll
Yep.
talk.
she'll talk. She'll talk.
Yep.
She has to.
We're
No other
here
way.
with a special guest,
Yes.
Dr. Michael
Dr.
Shafer
Michael Shafer
of the
from the
Warm Heart Foundation. Is that
Indeed.
correct?
That is indeed correct.
That is
indeed
In
correct,
Thailand, we
yes.
are the Warm Heart Foundation.
Yes, yes. I saw on Facebook there's a website, warmheart.org. Is that you
No,
guys?
Warm
Or
Heart Worldwide.
Worldwide.
That is us.
Oh,
yes.
that's you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's an American organization,
Mm.
but it is our tax dodge. To get Americans to donate, you have to give them big tax deductions.
Yeah.
And therefore, we have a tax-exempt organization in order to
It's pretty clever.
get Americans to donate. And
Well,
we
it's
have
very
we have a
clever.
German equivalent and an Aussie and English one, and so
fantastic.
on. So,
That's fantastic.
and we are in fact a Warm Heart Worldwide. No, Warm Heart Foundation here in Thailand
Mhm.
is also a legally
Registered
charity. So we are a tax exempt organization as well. And
Fantastic.
Thailand is immensely more generous than the U.S. The
Mm.
U.S. you are only allowed to deduct at your now tremendously lowered tax rate, but here
Okay.
in Thailand, I believe you receive 200% of the donation that you give,
Oh, that's
which
wonderful.
is wonderful.
That is a lot.
Good Lord, yes,
That's
indeed.
a lot.
I would love to be able to receive that. But
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That's great.
So we are
That's fantastic.
CM273
CM273 registered
with the
foundation
Ministry
number.
of Interior.
CM273. Anybody wants to check their validity, just go for it.
That's right, absolutely.
So we're here to talk about the your foundation and your work with everything that makes your life black and dark, but
Yeah.
still happy, which is the
Yeah.
biochar.
Yes,
Right,
indeed.
we've spoken about that, and
Well,
also
we work with many other things besides.
and many things as well now. So
besides
that's what
children.
we want to
Yeah, get some updates.
Get
of
the
what's
new
been
things.
happening, Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But we'll go for a bit of music first.
Mhm.
All right.
Right, we've got some requests already. I think 1 or 2, 3, something like that. I've got one
I have one.
Yeah,
from
we
my
have a
friend
couple.
Kelvin. So it's a Christmas song from Hong Kong. I
Okay.
guess there's no escaping the Christmas
Christmas
songs. I
song.
mean, it's the 22nd,
No.
right? You can't.
No.
I'm just
From
about to.
Hong Kong. How wonderful.
We have a Facebook post up about our talk with Dr. Michael
We
Shafer
do.
today.
Yes.
With Michael today,
Earlier
and
yeah.
I'm just about to post our live stream, YouTube live stream. So if you'd like to watch our conversation, you can
Go
go
for
to
it.
our Facebook page, 93 Relax Time Radio, and you'll find
Mm.
right now a link to the YouTube live stream. You can
Like
watch it.
right now. He clicked it
even
as he
while just
spoke.
talking.
As he
There
said it.
is.
Yes.
There it is. All right.
There we go. Okay, stay tuned. We're gonna go for a bit of music.
Okay, we are. So what do I have up
What are we
first?
gonna play?
It's a song that India Ari wrote for Stevie
Enjoy
Wonder.
Stevie Wonder. Let's do
Oh.
that.
Nice.
Let's do
Called
that.
Wonderful. Okay.
Okay, stay
Yeah,
tuned.
we feel wonderful today.
And if you have any questions about air pollution, Warm Heart Foundation, biochar, or any other topics that might be related to that,
Send them in on the Facebook page or on the YouTube live stream.
yes, or
And
you can
also-
call them in as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, 053-276.
793.
That's the number to call.
and you can also send in song requests.
Yes,
Of
please.
course.
All right.
India Ari.
You are the sunshine of my life, another Shakespeare of your time. You're like a ribbon in the the sky. You are a poet and this rhyme. You take me to a higher ground, and then you knock me off my feet. Lately I've been thinking about you, 'cause you've been creeping in my dreams. You inspire me. The way you make me feel inside is amazing. Your honesty, your artistry is engaging. You are everything I hope to be. You have touched my soul. How are you to know? You are my hero. fill me with happiness. I never knew you gave me more joy than I ever dreamed of. And no one can take the place of you. Well, this will be you and me. Yes, sorry, eternally. Hugging and squeezing and kissing and pleasing together forever through rain or whatever. Yeah, 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 yeah. You and me. So long as I'm living true love, I'll be giving to you. I'll be serving 'cause you're so deserving. Hey, you're so deserving. You're so deserving. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, love, love, love,
You've been listening to Relax Time Radio on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Watch our live stream on YouTube and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Okay, we're back. That was India Ari with Wonderful. And then Natalie Cole with This Will Be an Everlasting Love.
Natalie
Yeah,
Cole.
that's nice.
Yes,
Everlasting
indeed.
Love.
We've
That
got a
was
lot-
beautiful.
A lot more songs coming up. Some Christmas songs.
Christmas songs as well.
Hope you like them. If you don't, sorry. Go
Well, they're all
Really, I mean, dashing
know.
through the snow doesn't do it for me in Chiang Mai, you know. but-
Northern Thailand? No.
no, what can I
yeah.
say? You know, I was born with 3 feet of snow. That's why I live in Chiang Mai. You know? It was a major deciding factor for my departure.
For me as well, actually. I got to get out of this weather.
Oh, it's really
I
I
actually
know
got.
Belgium, but I got to get out of this weather.
hateful. And global warming is not coming fast enough for northern New Hampshire. I mean, I feel badly about what I do
Okay.
now. You know? No. I don't really mean that, but
Of
you
course
know.
not, yeah.
Oh dear, I should never be allowed to speak in public.
Northern New Hampshire. Yeah, that's cold. That's cold. Okay, good. Well, that's. I mean, you've been here before with us. I think it was about. It's more than. It's been more
More
than
than
a
a
year.
year,
Maybe 2
yeah.
years.
It's been a while,
Maybe
yeah.
2 years.
Yeah,
even.
we've come a long way since then too.
So what's new?
Well,
For people who don't know, maybe introduce your foundation
First,
first. You know, we always have new listeners, so maybe people who don't know what the Warm Heart Foundation is.
Right. Well, the Warm Heart Foundation has been around for a decade now, you know, and they say, good,
Applause
yes,
for that.
please applaud for that, because they say that 95% of small businesses are out of business in 5 years, and that in
If you do
5
more than 5 years, yeah.
that 95% of those that survived the first 5 were out
Will
of
also
business.
be out of business.
So when we hit
Yeah.
10, I thought,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
doing
yeah.
something right. Yay! You know?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are kind of a life cycle organization in the sense we start with kids and end up with old folks.
Yeah.
We currently have got about 45 kids living with us from up in the mountains, and we support another 30 kids or so at a government boarding school. And we
Wonderful.
have more than 10 at sleepaway vocational technical schools,
Okay.
and 16 at university.
And 16 at university.
and, you know,
that is
we'll-
progressing.
Yeah,
as
well, when we first got here, you know, the big deal was going to be to try and keep kids in school after Paul Hawk, after sixth
Yeah.
grade. And we had no idea. The university was a total shock. And it has been a shock to the system. I will tell you, it is very expensive to send kids to university.
It is.
You know,
It
the
is,
university
it is.
here.
yes.
Yeah,
Oh, it's not
universities here.
subsidized.
Well, let me just tell you, it is free basically to send kids through sixth grade.
not?
When you go on to middle school, you're talking probably $300 to $500 extra by the time you've added buses and uniforms and so on.
Yeah.
By the time you send a child to school here in Chiang Mai, at Rajapat Chiang Mai or whatever, it's $3,000 to $5,000 a year by the time you've paid for an apartment and
Yeah.
food and schlepping back and forth to school. You know, I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's not cheap. I mean, it's really a lot of money. But at any rate, so we've got the kids. Then in kids in education, we run those. Then we do job creation because in the north, out in the countryside, there are just no jobs. I mean, it's an
Other
entire
than farming?
yeah. I mean, and 6 months of the year, there's no farming
There's
either.
no farming,
it's
right,
really
yeah.
dry. It's really
Yeah.
hot. So we work with uneducated, untrained women to create women's cooperatives so that they've got a
Yeah,
place
I
to
remember,
work and
yeah.
so on.
That's good. And what do they do? What do they create? Do
They-
create artisan products or
Yeah, beautiful stuff, but
Beautiful
not
things.
entirely artisan products because, for example, if you go to Night Bazaar, there are all these spectacular, exotic
Yeah,
looking
Yeah.
tribal
Yeah.
stuff. It's not.
Wow.
It's all made in China.
There's
It's
a lot
all
of
made
fake,
on machines.
there's a lot of fake things there.
And tourists will buy one of those things. They'll take it home, and the next day they'll ask, "What was I thinking?" Right? So what we do is we try to convince good designers from Europe or the United States to come and to design things using natural silks here in northern Thailand. We
which
grow
are beautiful.
yeah, we grow a kind of wild silk you don't find
Yes,
anyplace else in
yes,
the world.
yeah.
We dye it botanically, we hand spin it, hand weave it. Using their designs, we can produce stuff that is absolutely gorgeous, and fits perfectly into the color schemes and the fashion look
Yeah.
of Western Europe or
That's
the
good.
United
That's
States.
great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Then we do a lot, of course, in sustainable agriculture because people here are really afraid of dying of pesticide poisoning, and they are
Well,
beginning to.
rightfully so.
Yeah.
And of course, the haze, which is killing a very large number of people. And finally, then elders. Thailand is a rapidly aging country, and if you get old in the city, they send you home. But
Yeah.
home, you
There's
left
nothing
home
there.
when you were
Yeah.
3 years old, and what do they do with you? They put you in a shack made out of teak leaves or something, and you get fed once a day, and it's pretty much a confinement to solitary for the rest of your life. So we go out, we visit the people, we bring
That's
them music and fun and laughter
That's
and
great.
whatever.
It's nice.
So the whole thing. But biochar is a big piece of that.
Biochar is a big piece of that. That was mainly why we invited you last time, right?
Right.
Because that was the big thing
Well,
at the time we were talking about.
After
Everybody was
last
talking
year,
about.
it's a pretty big thing
Yeah,
to
yeah,
talk about this year
yeah.
too.
Yeah. But you also, I saw you making bricks as well now.
Yeah, well, we are sort of in the business of asking ourselves, what can we do to make useful products, if you will,
Out of waste
out
products,
of
yeah.
waste.
Which we call upcycling these days rather than recycling,
No,
right?
just forget it. Yeah,
That's a
upcycling.
beautiful. It's a beautiful word. That's such a
It's
beautiful.
a beautiful concept. Yeah,
Yes.
And we're all going to run around in a plastic bag. No,
Yeah.
it's not a happening thing. No. But look, I mean, the problem here is that everybody looks at corn and says, "Oh, those big bad companies. We should get rid of corn." Forget it. I mean, there are millions of farmers here in northern Thailand who depend on growing corn.
Absolutely.
And that corn moves down a supply chain to, they gets fed to animals, and people have to care for those animals. And then those animals get slaughtered and taken apart and packed and shipped. I mean, Thailand exports thousands of tons of dead chickens, frankly, and pork parts and whatnot. And, the United States is doing everything in its power to valorize Thailand's pork exports because, China's having to draw, I understand, on its strategic pork reserves. Which
Yes, apparently.
is just really scaring them to death. So Thailand's got this great market there, right? All those people are going to lose their jobs if corn goes to Myanmar. Because Myanmar, frankly, doesn't have any rules at all. Right? So what we're interested in doing is saying, okay, if we've got corn, what can we progressively, positively do with the corn waste?
Yeah.
Same thing with styrofoam.
Apart from putting it on fire.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is not a progressive thing to do
No,
with it.
Unless you put it in one of your kilns, right?
Well, we can put it in a kiln, and we can make sure there's no smoke and no greenhouse gases and so on. But the same with styrofoam. I mean, if you want electronics in northern Thailand, it better come packed in something that
Yeah.
will absorb the crashes. I mean,
Yeah.
you get yourself a really big flat screen TV, it is not going to survive.
Transport
Yeah.
here, logistics here.
No,
On those roads and those trucks, no, that's
it's
not
not.
gonna happen.
It's you're going to get it with a really big crack across the screen,
Yeah.
and it's not going to work the way you intended it to.
And it spoils the viewing pleasure.
It
It's not-
does.
it's not-
It does, and the cost is such that you probably don't. And
Yeah.
the frustration level. By the time you've gotten to the third one, you're really going to not be a happy camper, right? So you pack it in styrofoam, but styrofoam then.
Where does it go?
It's indestructible, which is precisely why you pack your TV in it. But
Yeah.
on the other hand, I mean, then you got it, right? Well, what do you do with it? Well, the thing about styrofoam is that sound cannot travel through it, and heat cannot travel through it. But if you leave it around, one, it's ugly. Two, in the countryside, people just dump it in the dump. Right?
Yeah.
Well, the dump is a ravine, and when the ravine gets filled up, they just light it, right? And all that polystyrene smoke goes up. And if you've ever taken a deep breath of polystyrene smoke,
No, I have not.
Well, don't.
I also
Yeah.
don't. I also don't.
Let me just tell you, you absolutely do not want to.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
so what we do is we grind it up, and we mix it with just a little bit of cement, and
Yeah.
you can make bricks
Yeah,
that
I've seen them.
float.
They're fantastic.
And you can also make wall panels so that you can build a house where the wall panel has got the exterior surface on it. Maybe you want to have, some kind of paneling or something, and you can put gypsum board on the inside, and you just plop the panels in 1, 2, 3, 4, and the house is built. It's
Yep.
fantastic. You can use it on a roof. So one of these old ladies
Does it
who
protect
needs
against
a-
heat?
Yeah, no heat goes through it, so it's
It's fantastic.
perfect insulation,
Yeah.
and it's perfectly soundproof. So
Yeah.
you have a little hotel, you're right next to a big highway, you can put a baffle wall of this
Yeah.
stuff up against the wall that faces the road, no more sound. A government offices are never built with insulation.
No.
And if you go down to town hall here, for example, you'll look and you'll see a row of really big air conditioners across the entire fifth
Yep.
floor.
Yeah.
Well, why do they have all of those? Because the sun beats on the roof and it heats them all up. And oh man, we are wasting so much electricity cooling down the heating effect of the sun. Now, you
Yeah.
could take this stuff, which is so light, and put 3 inches of it. Say, maybe put 10, 12 centimeters of this stuff across the
Just
roof.
on top of
it
it,
wouldn't weigh anything at all,
No.
and it would completely insulate them. You
See.
could cut those cooling bills by
Yeah.
90%.
Yeah.
That
That's a
would
That's amazing.
save big bucks. Let me just tell you something. Lots of money could be saved there. So this is what we kind of think about. And then so for those briquettes that we make out of the biochar,
Yeah.
absolutely pure. The problem
It
with-
is. So.
yeah, I mean, the problem with charcoal, for example, is, well, there are a lot of problems with charcoal, but when you make charcoal with wood, which means you're out cutting down forests. Well, we
Yes.
can't afford to have a whole lot more forests cut down here in northern
Not necessarily.
Thailand.
No.
Right, it's just going really fast. And as the forest goes, habitat for animals goes,
Water
biodiversity
retainment
goes, but water goes. The
Yeah.
really big problem is that we are losing watershed. And as those forests get cut down, water doesn't penetrate. As the water doesn't penetrate, our rice crops are beginning to die off. The valleys are beginning to dry out, and so
Yeah.
on. So you want to protect the forest. So if you're not making charcoal, you're not destroying forest. But you can take crop waste, turn it into these biochar gizmos, right? And not only is it not burning down forests, but charcoal is made at a very low temperature. So it's very impure. It's full of tars and everything.
You're asphyxiating the wood, basically. Right?
I've just had a question. Have you managed to get any sense of how much of forest burning has been caused by corn crop waste burning, or how much is just land clearance, or how much is due to mushroom gathering or boar hunting?
Yeah, well, I think that, we here in Chiang Mai see our forests burning. And so we attribute a great deal of the haze naturally to forest fires. I think, though, that if you step back from Chiang Mai itself and look around the world, what you see is that there are terrible haze seasons in
Many places.
every part of the developing
We
world.
were just talking about it
we were
before.
just saying.
Right? I mean, the city of Delhi, the capital of India, closes every single year. Lahore, kind of the capital of eastern Pakistan, closes every year.
Ulaanbaatar is
Yeah, then we kind of close down, and then central China closes down. In Beijing, in June and July, 50% of the haze is from crop burning, rice burning, right? Then you've got the Pacific. Then it's Latin America. It's Mexico burning its crop waste. So it's almost all crop waste burning. These countries don't have forests. So to begin with, the global problem, which is immense, is in fact crop waste burning, and really corn waste burning, because corn is the biggest and certainly the fastest growing commercial crop in the world today, because the demand for feed is rising. Everybody wants to eat chicken and pork and beef
And ice cream.
and ice cream. Oh my
Ice
God,
cream.
ice cream is killing us. Dairy, but especially Wall's Magnum bars. I mean, full cream. I mean,
You need
it's just,
dairy,
that's it. You know,
Need cows for that.
you need cows and
It
you
doesn't
need.
come out of cashew nuts.
No, no,
Well,
and-
actually, you can, but
But no,
Nobody
God,
wants
it's not
that.
the same
It's not the
deal.
same,
I mean,
right.
almond milk just doesn't
Yeah.
cut it when it
Right.
comes to Magnum bars. I mean, that's really the problem, right? So as you look around here, first, I mean, you've got the problem that you've got these forests, and everybody says, "Oh, it's those bad people lighting forest fires for all the various different reasons." But part of the problem is that the information we have about those forest fires is cheap information. Everybody depends on the American satellite photographs that you can get for free. And the free imagery is 50-meter resolution, meaning something has to be 50 meters to show
Wide
up on
to
that
show.
picture.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really big fire.
that's a big fire.
Right?
Have you met Bose, a Thai photographer, photographer, journalist, Bose? He hasn't been in the show, has he? But he's a friend of ours.
No. He's coming soon.
Yeah. Anyway, he spent a long time sort of nested in with people in the forests, the firefighters, as well as people who were setting fires. Last year, I believe. Yeah.
I'll get you in touch with him.
Yeah.
He's an interesting
No,
guy.
I mean, they're
just to
you
see
know,
the pictures as well. Is
Yeah, I mean, the
interesting.
pictures are
Yeah.
amazing. And last year was a horrible year because basically you had 2 years of forest leaves and so on to burn.
Yeah.
But what happens, this was a really interesting study done by a Thai guy at Princeton University, who then said, well, what happens if we pay for the higher resolution satellite photographs? And what you see when you get the good quality stuff is that the forest looks like Swiss cheese. It's riddled with little tiny holes. And every one of those little holes
There's a
is a
little
small
fire, yeah.
cornfield.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
And every one of those gets lit. And when it gets lit, then the fire tends to escape and so on.
Yep.
So an awful lot of these fires start actually as cornfield fires. Quite not deliberately. I mean, these farmers just want to clear their fields. Now, what's interesting is that Mephalong University up in Chiang Rai did a study of all of this. And according to their study, the only place you ever see what people call hot spots, right, disappear from one year to the next is where farmers change their crops. So if a farmer goes from, say, growing corn to growing coffee, there will no longer be fires at that location, which says to me that our real problem is the corn. And that we could eliminate a tremendous amount of our problem if we could address the corn problem.
Yeah, that's what I was curious to know, because we had Kun Sakda from the Chiang Mai Breathe Council on, and he was talking about working with tambons. I'm guessing low-lying, lowland tambons.
Yeah, Chiang Mai Valley.
So to get them to sign up to their agreement that they would no longer burn their maybe rice crop waste in this case mainly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Sakta, I mean, it's very important to say this right now, that the Breathe Council is just a huge development here. I work pretty closely with Kun Sakda, and it is the first time, that the people of Chiang Mai have come together and collectively said, stop, we need to do something about this. And
from different walks of life
yeah,
as well,
all
from the industries and academics and regular people and foreigners
and they have so impressed the governor that the governor supported them actually with a fair amount of money for their big march. The governor is going to be coming out to their big event in January. I mean, I think the fact that everybody has come together, and it's a very broad-based movement. So they are looking at low-lying areas where you've got rice. They're looking at mountain areas where you can put in forest fire breaks, and you can have fire watchers, and you can stop the mushroom pickers, who are a very real problem, right?
Yes,
and then I'm working with them, Warm Heart is working with them very closely on dealing with corn waste. So all of these are different aspects, and they are only happening because of the Breathe Council. So.
Good.
All right.
Well, let's go for a bit of music.
Yeah, we'd better take a break. Amazing stuff and insight.
Yeah. We'll come back with a bit of talk a bit more about solutions.
Yes.
Yeah. What can we do, right?
We can do things.
And by the way, if you have a song that you'd like to hear tonight, do tell us, Michael.
Think about it.
But right now, though, I have a song. This is for John, right?
Yep.
Stella Angelico with Pray.
Yes.
And then plenty more music coming up. All right.
0532767793. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Yeah. Questions for Michael, please send them to our Facebook page or the YouTube live stream.
Relax Time Radio, 93.25 FM.
When I'm underground, give me diamonds. When I'm cold, wrap me in stars. When it's all burning down, dress me in my wedding gown. Won't be your prey. You hit hard, I hit harder. You push me down, you watch me push up. Holding it in only gives me more to get out. I got the strength to dig, now watch me fight my way out. It's getting harder, but I can bear the heat. Long winter got me plenty enough food to eat. I'm at the edge, scraping the barrel now. Cross me, baby, and it be I shall peril now. When I'm underground, give me diamonds. When I'm cold, wrap me in stars. When it's all burning down, dress me in my wedding gown. Won't be your prey. I'm jumping fences and pushing over stacks. I got my fists up, I'm bracing for attack. I'm in deep water, I'm swimming with a shark. There ain't no putting out this fire once it starts. I duck a one punch, weave two. I crouch low, see you. Forgetting one thing, it's swell. I've been a woman since I was a little girl. When I'm underground, give me diamonds. When I'm cold, wrap me in stars. When it's all burning down, dress me in my wedding gown. Won't be your prey. I'm building up what's been broken down. I come full circle, come all the way around. Piecing together, holding tied, one's been ripped off. Now watch your footing, don't you fall, no, don't you trip up. When I'm underground, give me diamonds. When I'm cold, wrap me in stars. When it's all burning down, dress me in my wedding gown. Won't be your prey. When I'm underground, give me diamonds. When I'm cold, wrap me in stars. When it's all burning down, dress me in my wedding gown. Won't be your prey. 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 I ride on a mail train, came by a thrill. I've been up all night, leaning on my windowsill. And if I die on top of a hill, and if I don't make it, you know my baby will. Don't the moon look good, mama, shining through the trees? Don't the brakeman look good, laying down that double E? Don't the sun look good going down to the sea? Don't my man look fine when it's coming on after me? Winter time is coming, windows are filled with frost. I tried to tell everybody, but I could not get across. I want to be a lover, I don't want to be a boss. Don't you say I didn't warn you when your train is low. Is love. Train is
You've been listening to Relax Time Radio on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Watch our live stream on YouTube and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back.
That last song there was Tracy Nelson with "It Takes a Lot to Laugh, It Takes a Train to Cry." That's a Dylan
Indeed
song.
it was. Beautiful song, by the way.
Sad.
All right,
Oh,
so
well, it's okay.
we're still here.
We're still
with
here.
Dr. Michael Shafer. Michael,
Yes, we are.
when we have a doctor, and it's hard to like stop saying doctor all the time.
I
Doctor,
know.
doctor.
Why?
Yeah, we had it with Karina as well, and she said, "Stop calling me doctor."
Yes. Well, this is the only place anybody gives me any respect. You know?
Right.
In the States, my students used to call me just Shafer. That's what my father called
Shafer,
me.
come
Shafer.
here.
You know? Here, because me, Ajahn Shafer, Ajahn Shafer. It's like
Yeah, it's good, right?
all my little children call me Ajahn Shafer. It's really funny.
It's terrible because I used to like volunteer teach at a school in the centre town, Meta Siksa, and so it's a Matayam 1 to 3 school. All the teachers are called crew, not
Yeah.
Ajahn,
Yeah.
crew.
Yeah.
Oh, you're sure?
But all the teachers like refer to me as Ajahn, as if
Yeah.
I'm not a qualified
Yeah,
teacher. I'm the like
guess
least
you're-
qualified
you're-
I'm the
person
least
there,
qualified
yeah.
person there.
They do. I get that as well, and I think it's a sign of wanting to be polite and wanting to be respectful
Right.
and all that. But
Yeah.
okay, let's talk a bit more. So I think we've pretty well defined with your assistance where a few of the causes lie of the burning and the smoke and the fact that this is going on and that it's a bigger issue than just Chiang Mai or even Thailand. It's
Yeah.
regional, developing nation-wise. It is
Global, yeah, apparently.
pinpointed to burning crop waste as a primary source of pollution and then causing secondary sources as well, of course, because the fires get out of hand. We also have the unique situation when we look to Chiang Mai, where we have a climatological inversion, a cold inversion, which happens every year more or less, keeping the
It
smoke
all
inside
down.
of the topographical issue we have, which is Chiang Mai Valley. We're surrounded by mountains. So anything which sits in that big bowl, it's like a big bowl of noodles that you
That's
can't
right.
pour out, right?
Our own Los
noodles.
Angeles.
Yeah, yeah, just right. I mean, it's similar. I mean, there's other places like this in the world.
Oh yes.
So, I mean, you've brought a lot of awareness to society about this, and mainly grassroots up to go towards the farmers and let them know that there is an alternative and that they can make money out of their waste. So you're saying we don't take out the corn, we just give them alternative ways to process the waste and at the same time help them to make money.
Yeah.
Basically buy their smoke. That's what you're buying their smoke. That's what you just said, right?
Yeah.
I like that
I mean,
terminology. It's good.
I
Buying their
think the
smoke.
critical thing here is to think about this by thinking first, where does the haze come from?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's you
it
have to
comes
define.
from these little guys burning their crop waste because the land that they're growing this corn on is so cheap. It's so otherwise worthless. It's steep.
It's just jungle.
It's
at a
just
steep incline. You can't put a
very-
machine on it.
You can't put a tractor on
No.
it. There's just no other way.
I've seen it in many places.
Oh,
it's
it's
just
just-
by hand, and you
It
can't.
costs too much.
Either you pull it out by hand or you put it on fire.
Right,
Basically.
and
That's
and
it.
so I mean they absolutely have to clear that land before they can plant again, and they don't have any money, they don't have any machinery that will do it, and you can stand at the bottom of the field and just
Go
those old little
oops.
ads flick
Yeah.
a bick, and voomp, it's gone. It's an instantaneous solution.
Yeah.
So
and also the lack of. I mean, there's no monetary remuneration if they don't get anything out of all the labor they have to do to manually remove that waste.
Right. Why
They're not
do
going to
it?
do it.
Well, and furthermore, I mean, we all know that most poor people around here don't stick around during the hot season.
No, they
There
come
is
down to
no
the city.
work.
They go to
They
Pattaya. They
come-
go to Bangkok
They,
construction.
they
whatever.
go do
Yeah.
something else, right? So
Gonna
who
make
stays
money.
home? The old folks,
Yeah.
the disabled,
The young
kids.
kids.
Yeah.
Who's supposed to do this? I mean, I can't see Granny out there, kind
Yeah.
of bent over at 90 degrees. I mean, she's probably the only one who can get her face down to where the cutting has to be done. But what a terrible thing to wish on anybody,
Yeah.
No. I mean, the burning is absolutely realistic. So you have to address that fact.
Yeah.
And unless they can make enough money doing something else, they are going to continue to burn.
Yeah.
And what you have to recognize is that corn is a really, really bad crop. I mean, if you sell very high quality corn, if it's dry, and it's very clean, you get a certain amount for it. But the minute your corn has got dirt or rocks in
Little
it,
pebbles,
or
anything.
if the moisture content is over, say, 15%,
Yeah.
forget it. The value goes way down. So when we started doing this 4 years ago, we were able to offer 2 baht a kilo for the biochar.
Yeah.
But people were only making 4 to 6 baht a kilo for the corn itself.
Yeah.
So I mean the return was fantastic.
Sure.
They thought, oh my God, let's do this. Well, there's been inflation. The price of corn has gone up. We're up to 5 baht a kilo.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
2 baht is still 2 baht.
but let's face it, folks. I mean, compared to what the smoke would do, the damage the smoke causes
absolutely.
once it gets into the air, this is absolutely nothing. So our approach is to say we don't need big machines. We don't need fancy technology.
No.
We need things that the poorest farmer in the world can
love
do
that.
or
Yeah.
can use. And it turns out actually that for making biochar out of corn cobs, right, you need a 200-liter drum.
That's it.
That's it.
An old oil drum.
An old oil drum, and
Which you can transform.
you can
minor-
transform, right?
minor changes.
And one thing we've learned recently in Africa is that you do not, if you're going to do corn stalk, you can literally make a trench in the ground. And you can use a piece of roofing metal, which is maybe 62 baht, to put it out. Well, 62 baht is not a lot of money in Thailand,
No.
So what you've done is you've offered these farmers a way for them to make a good deal of money while at the same time not producing haze from what they're doing. And I think that is really the key thing, is that you put the solution in the hands of the people who are causing the problem.
Of course. Yeah.
You don't try and create a big business
No,
infrastructure or a governmental infrastructure or anything over it. You just say to the guys, hey, you're growing this corn, you got all this stuff left over, why don't you do this? You can make a little extra money. And they go, oh, extra money.
He's great.
I'm down with
I
that,
love
man.
that,
I'm good, right? Because corn is really, really messy stuff. About 80% of the corn that comes out of the ground, the plant, is not usable.
It's not usable.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, only 20+% of it is actually grain.
And it depletes soils as well. It's
Yeah.
it's a feeder. It sucks water.
Well, and the main problem is that as the soil gets worse and worse, you plant the plants further and further apart. If
Yeah.
you've ever seen an American cornfield,
I
if
have,
you
yeah.
walk into it, it's like running into a wall.
Yeah, you can't.
Right?
They're so close to each other.
They're just
yeah.
tight.
Yeah.
In Thailand, if you walk into a cornfield, it's hard to run into a corn plant. 90% of the time, you're just going to walk into nothing because things are planted so far apart. There's
Yeah.
no water, there's no nutrition, there's nothing, right? So you can completely change that if you get the farmer to say, well, I'm going to make biochar out of this, and then I'm going to make the biochar into fertilizer.
Yeah.
Because that fertilizer can restore the soil.
That's
The fertilizer will retain water in the soil, so that if you don't have rains regularly, you can
At least
hold
you
that
have some
water.
sort of
Right.
That's something
water retention.
something like what they think happened in the Amazon way back historically. This Amazon black
Yes.
that was sort of the fertility in the soil was artificially created.
Yes,
Historians now think.
Absolutely. I mean, scientists have long wondered what accounted for these very, very rich areas in the Amazon forest. And they went looking and they found this stuff they called terra preta, black soil. And they began looking at it, and it went down in some places 10 meters deep, and it was incredibly black and incredibly rich. And when they began looking with these special side-looking radars, what they saw was that before there had been these massive civilizations that had had hundreds of thousands of people who lived on the production of very, very fertile farms. And they kept thinking, how could you do this with, forest soil, which is
Which is
notoriously
notoriously
bad.
poor in
Right.
nutrition. Yeah.
Well, the answer was that
Especially
they
in
had
the
this
tropics.
terra preta. And the reason they had the terra preta is because people kept mixing organic material and especially charcoal,
Yeah.
carbon back
Yeah.
into the soil.
Yeah.
And it made it so rich that the soil would support all kinds of intensive agriculture. And then we lost that for 4,000 years, and now we're rediscovering it and discovering that you can do three really important things with it. One, you can use it as a fertilizer. Two, you can use it as a decontaminant, which is very important. I mean, here in Thailand, for example, we have tremendous amounts of heavy metals and pesticides scattered around everywhere. The heavy metals come out of the sky from the smoke from factories, and the pesticides, of course, we spray on everything. Well, if you can put biochar into the soil, the biochar will hold on to that. Now, the problem stays in the soil, but plants cannot suck it up, right? So that if you eat vegetables from that soil, you're not going to be eating pesticides or cadmium and so on, right? And that stuff will not go out in the water, right? So, for example, here in Chiang Mai, we get a lot of our water from up the river, right? Well, the Sa River that comes down past the Queen's Botanical Gardens and so on, flows into our river. Well, at the top up there, it's all intensive commercial farming.
Really intense. It's
Flowers.
incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't
And-
get dark at night.
No,
It's
it's unbelievable. But of course, they spray massive amounts of fertilizer and pesticides on all that stuff. All those Chiang Mai strawberries
right.
are
that's,
doused. They're villages you smell before you get to them. I must be in, wherever, right? Because the mix of chemicals they're using. All that's coming to us. Right? We bathe in that stuff. We wash our clothes in that stuff, right? Well, if you could put enough biochar up there, it wouldn't come down, right?
Amazing.
That would be great. The final thing that you can do with it is you can use it literally to burn as charcoal. So all those mukata places, all those people who
All
cook
the
with
street side barbecues.
right, all of those people could use it, and you would not produce any smoke. And that's really important because the World Health Organization, the WHO, thinks that about 3 million people a year in the world die from breathing the smoke that comes off of their cook fires. Just their cook fires. Think about that. 3 million people a year. 3 million people a year is more people than die of HIV, malaria, dengue, hepatitis, and TB combined. Combined, right? Those are the big, sexy, communicable, infectious diseases that got great press. When was the last time somebody said, "Oh my God, people in Chiang Mai are dying of breathing cooking smoke"? Nobody ever says that.
Nobody ever says that,
right?
no.
But this is the truth of the matter. But if they were using biochar briquettes, they wouldn't be breathing any noxious gases, and they wouldn't be breathing any smoke.
How does the
good
market
air.
price relate between biochar and regular charcoal?
Well, it depends on where you're getting your biochar, but basically you ought to be able to sell both biochar briquettes and charcoal briquettes for almost exactly the
Almost
same
same
thing.
price.
They should look almost identical.
They look similar. I've seen,
And so, the nice thing about this is you're introducing a product into a market that has already accepted the product, right? Everybody
Just an
wants.
improvement.
Yeah, I mean, they say, "Oh, it's the same price." Yeah, sure, I'll use that. It doesn't smoke. Fine. I'm healthier, fine. I can deal with that, right? No more cost. I don't have to explain it to them. This is a briquette. No, you don't have to do that, right? Or he says, "Oh, it's a briquette. I'll buy that. It's better for me. Same price, no problem." It's like that's sort of
take
the
it.
deal. Yeah.
Good. So where do people go and buy it?
You can buy it pretty much anywhere. Tanin Market. Just
I've seen them around.
So there are supply chains in place. What are the parts of the equation that are still left to work out, if any?
Well, I think that the main problem is going to be to get enough small farmers making the stuff, that we've got a supply chain that runs from the field to the market.
To the market.
Because today I think that most of the biochar that's available is being made by really big companies. So, for example, if you're a furniture company and you've got lots of little leftover pieces of wood, right? Well, you can char that, and you can make biochar very nicely.
Yeah.
And it's very cheap. Or even better, for example, suppose you're a lumber company, and so you're cutting wood.
All your offcuts.
And you've got lots of sawdust.
Sawdust as
Maybe
well,
you've got
yeah.
10 tons of sawdust a day, huge mounds of it, right? Well, today you just burn that to kiln dry your lumber.
Yeah.
Suppose you took that and you, instead of burning it and creating smoke, you pyrolyzed it and made biochar. The same heat that comes off it will dry your lumber. Now the biochar is essentially a free byproduct. You can sell it for nothing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it has literally has no value. It's like ash.
I mean, I used to make furniture as well, like in Chiang Mai, and I wondered about that because I tried to make a deal with factories that they wouldn't burn all of this wood offcuts and sawdust, but they did. When they thought I wasn't. Yeah.
Looking.
Yes, that's right. Well, because I mean, what are they going to do with it? I mean, and what's really funny is that one of the 5-star hotels here in town, 137 Pillars House, used to throw away, literally discard all of their dead branches, dead trees, dead bamboo, and so on. They had a guy come pick it up, and he took it someplace and burned it, right? So they were paying him to move it someplace else and burn it. And so they asked me, well, could we turn this into biochar? And I said, oh yeah, you could turn this into biochar, and you've got all this grass and other stuff you could turn into compost. You could make something really fantastic. So now they're doing that. They buy no fertilizer.
No.
They make
don't
their
need
own compost. They make their own biochar. They mix it. They have the most beautiful gardens you can imagine, right? And it's all organically fertilized with stuff they make, and they are selling their fertilizer and competing with me. Which, I mean, I suppose I should say this is a great compliment.
It's a good example of your success.
But nonetheless, I mean, it is fantastic. But I mean, that's exactly the point. That if you've got it, you can transform it. It becomes a highly valuable product, just like that.
Okay, wonderful stuff. It's time to play some Christmas songs.
And we'll all take a break. Right?
Yeah, we'll all go to the bathroom a second.
However, this first one is a request. It's for Kevin in Chiang Mai. Every Day is Christmas by Jackie Chung.
Every day is Christmas.
Okay, so
Hong Kong music
thank you
coming up, guys.
so much again, Michael, for all that. We'll be back to wrap things up, maybe just for a few final words. But let's play some music.
Hong Kong music requested by a Malaysian guy.
Cantonese music.
Cantonese music.
Yeah. Okay, so this is.
Stay tuned.
We'll be back.
Every day is like Christmas Day, with you in my arms, getting cozy in Santa's sleigh, you to keep me warm. Underneath that big green tree, the stars shine down, it's so heavenly. Oh, every day is like Christmas Day when you're with me. Every song is a Christmas song. Hear the angels sing. When you kiss me, I sing along. Just hear the bells ring. In the spirit of good cheer, they chime so magically. All can hear that. Every song is a Christmas song with you, my dear. Every day is Christmas. Every day is Christmas. I may be naive, but I do believe the reindeer flight on Christmas Eve. 'Cause Santa, he brought you here to me. we look around, it's starting to snow. When you hold me with you, I found all I need to know. Hiding in the spot about the chimney tops, watching Santa Claus, he make his stop. So we're so happy with what we've got. Come on, baby, let's let it rock. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Every day is Christmas. Oh, and every day is Christmas. I may be naive, but I do believe the reindeer fly on Christmas Eve. 'Cause Santa, he brought you here to me. 'Cause Santa, he brought you here to me. Every day is like Christmas Day, with you in my arms, getting cozy in Santa's sleigh, you to keep me warm. Underneath that big green tree, the stars shine down, it's so heavenly. Oh, every day is like Christmas Day when you're with me. Do-do-do-do-do.
Christmas time is here, happiness and cheer. There's fun for all the children call their favorite time of year. Snowflakes in the air, there's carols everywhere, olden times and ancient rhymes of love and dreams to share. Sleigh bells in the air, there's beauty everywhere. Yuletide by the fireside, and there's joyful memories there. Christmas time is here, we'll be drawing near. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year.
party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit ring. Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly, deck the halls with boughs of holly. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly, deck the halls with boughs of holly. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way.
You've been listening to Relax Time Radio on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Watch our live stream on YouTube and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Hi, we're back.
Yes,
That
we
was.
are.
I need
We're not back. We're still here.
Well, we're still here.
We
Good
remained.
point. Good
We
point.
have-
We
I did not
remained,
run.
and
Yes.
we played some
We shall
music,
persist.
and that music was Jackie Chung. Every Day is Christmas. That was for Kevin in Chiang Mai.
Yes, Calvin.
Then
That's
a
what
version of Christmas Time Is Here by Anita Baker. A nice one. And the song has always puzzled me because the melody is at odds with the lyrics.
It is.
The
a bit-
melody is very sad and the lyrics are very...
quite happy.
The
yes.
children are happy and running around.
Yes.
But it's beautiful anyway. And then the last song was for Tom. We threw it in there for
Yes.
Tom. It's Brenda Lee, Rocking Around the Christmas
Rocking
Tree.
around the Christmas tree. I hope
Yeah.
you're rocking around your Christmas tree, Tom.
And
Merry
thank you.
Merry Christmas, happy
Merry
holidays
Christmas to you too. Okay.
Okay, so that was it.
Wow.
Right? Well, it's
Learned a lot
it's
today.
22, right? So we have about 20 minutes left, but we owe our listeners a bit of music. Do we still have requests pending or not?
Well, we've got plenty of music to
got
play.
plenty of music to play, okay.
No request pending, no.
Okay.
But plenty.
Well,
of
maybe
music.
a final
Final word.
Word.
closing thought. What should people do
What can we do?
What can you do?
as an
Well,
individual?
yeah.
Me living in my garden where I don't have room for
Or
a
me with
biochar
no garden.
kiln, and I don't really have enough bio waste unless I go and steal it from my neighbors, which I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
No, I'm sure they wouldn't actually.
No,
They
but I'm
would
sure
be
they
very
wouldn't mind.
happy.
Yeah, because now they
Yes.
dump it into the water in the lake in front of my house anyway. All of them. So
Well, we won't talk about that. We'll leave your neighbors out of this. Okay,
Yes.
so what can you do? One, if you live in Chiang Mai, you certainly grow things, in which case you can use biochar fertilizer.
yeah, I grow plenty
which
of that.
Will,
I will
which
get some.
will absolutely make things grow better, faster, healthier, and so on.
Can you
if-
put it on topsoil or do you have to dig it in?
You can do either.
Okay.
It's best dug in, but
Dug
it
in
will
probably,
settle
yeah.
itself in all by itself as time passes. Second, you can use biochar briquettes, which you can
Yes,
buy.
I
in
don't
a
barbecue.
variety
But
of-
okay.
Oh, you'll
For
want
barbecues and
Yes,
things
for
like that.
barbecues
Yeah.
and so on, whether it's barbecuing vegetables or
Yeah.
steaks.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're one of those rich guys who can buy Australian
Imported beef,
frozen
right? Yeah.
beef or whatever, so those are two things you can do right off the bat, and then you can certainly donate to stop the smoke, which
True.
would be a great aid.
Yes.
A project of the year is actually to support a village in Mejem to become self-sustaining. So
Yes,
No.
you're
We
working
can-
on that.
Okay,
So
get
we-
on to the Warm Heart Foundation worldwide website?
Yes.
Foundation
Oh.
Thailand. Yeah.
Yes,
Womhan Foundation Thailand.
just to if you enter Stop the Smoke 2019 into your browser, you will find a project which is about supporting a group of organizations, the Thai Ministry of Agriculture, the Office of Land Development, and so on, where Warm Heart has been providing free organic biochar fertilizer to a project to replant cornfields with permanent crops up in Mejem. So that's one possibility. The alternative is to go to just plain Stop the Smoke on a platform called Global Giving,
I saw that actually earlier on today.
which is a project where we are helping a village to become self-sustaining, actually to make it possible for this village to convert their own waste into biochar, then turn their biochar into products and sell their products so that the village itself can make a profit doing this and become an independent, in a sense, social enterprise, a business cooperative in itself. This is kind of the model that we would like to see happen, so that villages are not dependent on outside sources of funding at all. They don't need government funding. They don't need any form of outside funding, and the project will grow by itself. So that's, those are two places that you can go if you want to donate.
Okay.
Stop the Smoke 2019, which is a cooperative project with the government, and then just plain Stop the Smoke at Global Giving, which is a self-sustaining project, again with a small farmers village.
And also to learn, I guess, as well.
Yes, well, if you go to warmheartworldwide.org and just go to the environment page, then you will find lots of information in both English and in Thai. Videos, PowerPoints, various teaching materials, all sorts of interesting information. That section of our website gets between 40 and 50,000 visitors a month.
Wow.
It's just a remarkable draw. People come to it from all over the developing world. We do not get visitors from the United States or Canada, but people here in Asia really appreciate it. I think largely because it is really meant for us here in Asia. I mean, it's really meant to be, it addresses the issues of small farmers and development rather than just the issues of Iowa corn farmers or Belgian, I don't know, what do they call
Corn
it?
as well.
Corn, corn.
A lot of
I would have
wheat,
said cabbage.
a lot of potatoes.
A lot of potatoes.
And
Well-
they burn the waste of that as well. Actually.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
The Germans
burn
are
the waste,
obsessive
yes.
about not burning, actually. But,
It's under less. It's less. Before it used to be tradition. Now it's becoming less and less.
They actually burn heather where I'm from, the north of England, north of moors. They burn heather, but it's odd actually, because the even though it's a national park, the land is owned by very wealthy landowners, and they manage it for hunting. So they
Yeah,
sort
so
of
they burn it so they can get to their grouse or whatever.
It's traditional though. It's been burnt for a long time. It's a relatively small area. It probably doesn't really contribute to very much in the way of.
I wouldn't count on that, but I'll bet it smells very nice.
Yeah.
Actually, it can if it drifts down into the valley and there's one of those inversions, then you actually, it's smoky. True.
Okay.
I
Well,
just
thank
I
you.
just received a comment. Sorry, somebody wrote to me and said, "Interesting show." One of our regular listeners.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
John.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Yes, thank
Attend
you so much.
Shafer, very well
Dr.
done.
Shafer.
All right. Yeah, wonderful having you. Thanks so much. Would love to
Have you back?
definitely.
As we progress further,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yes,
Please.
see what we can do in the next year or
Well,
two.
you're working with a lot of big hotels and trying to get them not just 137, but also other ones. Try them to invest a certain amount of money to offset the tremendous losses they're suffering
Yes,
right now
Absolutely.
because of the pollution. So maybe in 6 months we'll see where that goes once we've passed the
season.
bad season, as we call it, right? The evil season,
The burning
the
season.
burning season. We'll see. We'll see how
Absolutely.
it whether they stuck to their word and stuck to their money, and whether it has had a positive
Yes.
effect or not.
Well, let's hope so. But everybody should be happy to know that this is probably not going to be a very bad burning season.
No. Yeah.
In fact, generally speaking, when you have a really bad one, the
Mhm.
following one,
Tends to
it's
be not
not
so
so
much
bad.
because most of it is gone.
yeah.
And
so
last year, as you said, it
it was
the year
particularly
before
bad.
it rained quite a lot, so there was
Yeah,
not
so
much
n-
burning going on.
right.
Well, there's also like El Nino events have an effect as well, don't they? On
Yes, but mainly I think it was because 2 years ago we
There
had a
wasn't
lot
one,
of rain during the middle of the winter,
Yeah.
so nothing burned, and
Mhm.
last
Right.
year we paid the price.
Price,
Pay the
yeah.
price for it.
yeah.
Well,
Okay, thank you
Okay, well,
so
thank you
much,
so much.
everybody. Thanks for listening.
thanks for the request.
Thanks for the request. Yeah, Relax Time Radio, 93.25 FM, 7:30 to 9 p.m. every day of the week. Tomorrow is Women Only with Jacqueline and is it Boomy? Or
I'm
Trish?
not sure.
Tomorrow.
I'm not
Jacqueline
sure yet.
and
You
co-host.
Jacqueline and someone.
Yeah.
Jacqueline
someone.
and somebody. Catch that. We'll be back on Sunday again. Yeah. Thanks.
Happy
Yes, we
Christmas,
will.
happy
Gonna
holidays.
leave you with
Merry
Merry
Happy
Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that. Have a great time this holiday season. Follow up on learn more about this issue by visiting those websites, doing your
Yes.
own research. Here is Jung Hol Train with Welcome.
summertime has gone, and the leaves are gently turning. Yeah, my love, I wanna take you to the place heart and yearning. Will he go? Lassie go. And we'll all go together in the wild mountain town, all around the blooming heather. Will you go? And I will build my love a tower at the foot of yonder mountain, infinite by the hour, from a lonely wooded tower. Would you go? Lassie go. And we'll all go together in the wild mountain town, all around the blooming heather. Come on. And I will build my love tower at the foot of yonder mountain. I will build them my power with the lily of the valley. Go! Where'd he go? Where's he go?
You've been listening to Relax Time Radio on Radio Thailand Chiang Mai.
Watch our live stream on YouTube and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
สถานีวิทยุกระจายเสียงแห่งประเทศไทยและเครือข่ายทั่วประเทศเสนอข่าวต้นชั่วโมงรู้เร็วรู้จริงเกาะติดทุกสถานการณ์